Welcome to Semi Sages of the Pages. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Teresa.
And we're so excited to read your first pages that sometimes we forget our own name.
Is that what's going on?
I'm going for that. Hopefully the audience is believing it. Thank you so much. Welcome, friends. We're so glad you're back. Obviously, we're a community of writers that are excited to share our journey with our friends, and we have a Discord channel. And welcome to our YouTube channel. This is one of our critically acclaimed series. We're gonna go for that.
I love it. It's award-winning.
It's award. Hell yeah.
Okay, whatever you say.
Sure, okay.
Now you're winning awards.
No, just a little light reading.
We get to read our brilliant first pages, and we have the opportunity to apply our method, which is called Even Better If, where we celebrate what we think is really working in your writing, and then we throw out some ideas for you to think about, maybe suggestions to bring up the prose level or work on the story, or just things to think about, so that you have a showcase for your work. And so please go back and check out our back catalog. And if you're a writer, please submit to us, and you can submit to us. Tell them where, Teresa.
At www.semisagesofthepages.com. We'll go ahead and put it in the comments, or just ask in the comments, and one of us will respond.
Yeah. And if you're looking for a really positive writing community, please join us on our Discord. So let's get started. This is great.
I'm excited.
Okay. So our genre today is
fantasy, is Appalachian Coven, and we do not say the author's name on here. However, the author is welcome to comments below about whether or not this was helpful or any questions they might have.
Drum roll, here we go.
Okay. A low thunder carried a chaotic vortex through the mountain. Slate gray clouds hurled toward the full moon, casting darkness through the cave. Willa used the back of her arm to swipe away beads of sweat while her hair swirled and clung to her damp face. The wind carried a sharp zing of ozone, promising to wash everything clean. Every hair on her body prickled when a wolf's bellow echoed through the night as if summoned by the howling wind. Willa glanced at Cassandra's grimoire, her eyes narrowing as a book shimmered. Glaring deeper into the cave, Willa turned her attention to Amelia. The woman's eyes were sealed tight. Her mouth was lax, her inky black hair splayed over the brownish-green cavern floor. Amelia's belly was now swollen, stretching her tank top to its breaking point. Willa wondered how it had grown in the hours since she had lured Amelia into the depths of this cave. Willa should feel guilty. She lured Amelia with the promise of a new beginning, not to mention the price. Amelia's chest softly rose and fell, each breath becoming more labored. Her stomach crawled and twisted in the dim light, warning of the impending doom. Had Willa's invocation worked? Cassandra promised Willa the power she longed for if she performed a sacrifice for her. Willa was a belle, after all. The women in her family were infamous throughout the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. Their unique abilities frightened anyone who dared cross a belle, but not Willa. She lacked every one of their powers. No glamoring, no whispering wishes into the wind, no telekinesis, no mind reading, nothing, until Cassandra found her. Ooh. Wow. There's a lot going on with this.
Right? Okay, so I really liked the section where it was talking about her belly rising and swelling, and let's share it again so we can see. Actually, I really liked this paragraph. Actually, kind of starting right here, starting with Willa should feel guilty. She lured Amelia with the promise of a new beginning, not to mention the price. Amelia's chest softly rose and fell, each breath becoming more labored. I thought that section was very, very nice. And I thought it really pulled me into the story. And as soon as I hit that section, I was really interested in what was happening, and I could see it around me, and I became very, very invested in the characters.
Yeah, I agree with that too. This was fascinating because a little bit before, there's a mention about her swollen belly. And so, of course, your instinct is, oh, she's pregnant. And then the next comment is, it's amazing how fast her belly grew. And you're like, oh, maybe she's not. That's weird. Did she eat something? Because we don't quite know the setting. We don't quite know what's going on here. There's a mention of a tank top, which again, I was like, oh, tank top. Oh, it's regular times, it's modern times. We're not in the past, we're not necessarily in the future. It's probably contemporary. And so to me, a lot of this was just kind of like you're recalculating a lot. Oh, she's pregnant. Oh, wait, no, she's not. There's something in her belly crawling. And you're like, oh, there's something
Yeah.
alive in her. How did that get inside of her? Is she pregnant with an alien's baby or a dragon's baby? Like, what's happening? And it's really well done to keep the reader curious enough to keep going, but it's right on the line. I'll be honest, it's right on the line of the reader going, I don't get it, and then closing the book. So this one's going to have to really, really keep an eye on that.
So what I like about this author is I think they're really gifted with their verbs. I love, like you pointed out, crawling, her swollen belly. So I think verb use is very good and description is good. However, I feel that at times the strength of description holds back the curiosity, and shifting where the description takes place and maybe even doing something. It might be even better if this is just an idea. So if it doesn't, resonate with you, don't listen. But this idea of moving that paragraph to the beginning about if her guilt, she should feel guilty about it. So at the beginning, I'm like, what did she do to her? Now, where are they? What's happening? So from the very first sentence or two, I'm like, oh my gosh, what did she do? Why did she do that? Then I think I'm more invested in the description. So then I'm less trying to figure out what's happening and more of trying to figure out the character's motives, which I think would take this, make it even stronger. And then maybe a cue for me personally, I said she should feel guilty. Does she not feel guilty? Does she feel guilty?
Ooh, that's good.
Just maybe a little more about their inner motives. So I see the world very, very, very well because I feel the author is strong with description. But I see the outer world more than I see the inner world. And I feel a few hints at the inner world would really play up this mystery and pull my emotion, evoke deeper emotion.
And I think that may help with the constant readjustment the reader is trying to make to paint the scene. I actually think you're right. I think if you rebalance it just a little bit more, inner versus outer, you've got the reader hooked and they're going to keep going.
Yeah, because the story is cool.
It is.
The premise is really interesting, but it's a lot of world building in a short amount of time. So just getting us a little bit more hooked into oh, what did she do to this girl and why? And now I want to know more about the bells, right? And why she doesn't have magic or does. And then I think that would really help invest in the story more. Anything else that you would any other insights that might help this amazing author take this to the next level?
Only other thing, and I give this advice a lot, be careful on the number of characters you introduce early on. You have so much you're trying to do in such a short amount of time. And you're trying to get the reader to visualize the world, visualize the setting, and get to know the characters. The more characters you introduce, the more confused the reader is going to get, and the more likely they're going to say, I don't get it, and just close the book. So be careful with that because it felt like there was a lot of characters being introduced there.
Just a lot of world building done right away. So maybe just a few more beats with just the two girls and how they feel about each other, in addition to because the story is moving fast, which I think is cool. I think this author's really nailing tempo. Agreed. Because the tank top's lifting and they've only been there a few, who knows how long. And that tempo is exciting. But I think within the excitement, maybe add the world building pieces a little slower so we can invest in the two characters a little more first. And then as we get more information about the world, we have a place to put it.
Agreed. And the other thing too, not just tempo that you nailed, the biggest advice that we see is to start books with action. You got that. You are starting the story with action, and really, really great. I'd love to kind of see what you're promising in the beginning. Just keep echoing throughout the story. So nice job.
Yeah, I love the premise. It's really cool. You can tell that this writer has an original idea and that the story is really vivid and I trust this. I trust that there's a world here and a story behind it. And so I think that's an important part. So just have fun with maybe rearranging the inner and outer worlds to balance them and then keeping that intrigue at the top. And thank you so much for trusting us with your story. I hope you found this helpful.
Yeah.
As always, audience and friends, our good friends, would you just, if you have any insights to help this author even better if, or anything you really loved about this story, put it in the comments below so that they can cherish it and learn from it and grow their story, make it the best it can be.
And as always, if you liked this episode, please like and subscribe the videos. It really does make a big difference for us. Submit, join our Discord, just come hang out. We have a large back catalog of videos that can help you write. We have immersive videos. So hang out with us for a while. We're kind of fun. We're weird, but we're kind of fun.
She's weird. I'm perfectly normal.